All right, so here we go. I'm actually running a little late this morning, but as you can see, it'll focus there. Yeah, the clock on my dash. I usually try to be at church on Sunday about 7:30 in the morning. Of course, we have this beautiful Sunday, January the 30th, Feast of the Three Hierarchs, and it's chilly. So let's take a look at what I do when I get to church. First things first, when I get to church, I turn the alarm off. It's a little convoluted to see. I unlock the push bar. So when folks get here, they can get to church. And then I take care of turning on a bunch of lights. Women's room. Men's room. The big panel in here. So we have all the lights, the narthex, all the lights in the church, the chandelier. We also do fans. Get a little air circulation going. And we take it from there. All right, so this is what church looks like when after I've turned the lights on and have come in. There's actually a bunch of stuff that I need to do to get things set up. So there's things like I have to light the candles. You see behind the altar, there's window shades that are down. Those need to be up. There's lights behind the altar that need to be turned on. And so actually work through a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll do an after once I've taken care of all of that. All right, so now we're at the after picture. So I've gone through, it's about 7:50 right now. It takes me about 15-20 minutes to kind of take care of all of that setup checklist stuff. You see all the lights are on. We can see lovely snowy Bainbridge Township out the window there. And the church is basically ready to go. So now what I do between now and 8:30 when our orthro service starts is there are 3 services that I do that are, these shorter services to prepare to serve liturgy. So the first one is called Keiron, and that service is just where I stand here in front of the iconostas. And I say a number of preparation prayers. It includes venerating all of the icons on the iconostas. And it's basically just saying, okay, I'm ready to start serving for Sunday morning. And then the next service is where I put on my vestments, all of the garments that I wear, liturgical garments to serve the service. And so between Keiron, the end of Keiron, and before the vesting prayers, I go up behind the iconostas and then with the vesting prayers, start putting my garments on. So I wear 7 items, 7 separate items when I serve. And there's a prayer for each one that I say. And of course, each item has a cross on it. And so there's a thing where I bless the item, I kiss the cross on the item, and then I put it on. So that's the second thing that I do, the second service. Now, the third service is one that takes place back in this left-hand corner. We can't see it from here, but there's a table back there, and I have a loaf of bread, specially baked liturgical bread called prosphora. And from that, I prepare what we will use for communion. And that is a whole service where different parts are cut out. There are prayers for each thing that happens at that point. There's a piece that represents Jesus Christ. There's a piece that represents the Mother of God. There are 9 pieces that represent 9 different categories of saints in the church. And then part of it is I also put a crumb on, in the West they call it a paten. We call it a diskos. It's the plate on which all of the communion items are placed. And so on that, there's a crumb for each living person that I remember, and also a crumb for each departed person. That service, that third service, is probably the one that takes the most time. And it can actually run all the way up to 8:30 when we start our Orthros service, which is our first public service here in the church. And I may actually have to continue finishing up the one service while serving the other. So I might be moving back and forth from the altar, which is in front of us, back to that table to the left that we can't see from here. But that's what I do from 7:30 until 8:30 when we start having our services here. So behind the scenes.